Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cardiff Central podcast. Another special guest episode this week as we're joined by Cardiff RFC winger Dewi Cross to discuss his career from Pencoed Minis and Juniors through to the Ospreys into the Cardiff RFC setup and the bucket load of tries that he scored at the Arms Park over the last few years, as well as touching on the Cardiff Under-18s continuing their winning streak in the Under-18 Regional Age Grade Championship and the first team's first pre-season friendly against Richmond on the weekend.
You're listening to the Cardiff Central podcast.
Joining me on the pod this week, we've got Tony Esposti from the panel. Tony, how are you? Oh yeah, jumped out on you there and you're unmuted.
Yeah. I muted myself thinking he wants us to mute, so it's fine. Sorry.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm very good, especially after the weekend.
Good stuff. And we're joined by a special guest this evening, a man who, if I went through all of the try-scoring records, that would probably just be the end of the pod, just reading them all out, to be honest. But his record for Cardiff RFC since joining is 57 tries in 61 games, 50 tries in 57 competitive games. Quite remarkable stuff. Dewi Cross, Dewi, how are you?
I'm all good. And obviously, thank you for having me on this podcast.
No, thank you very much for joining us. We'll start where we do with all our guests who are players or ex-players. Where does rugby start for you? What's your sort of mini and junior pathway through to starting with the Ospreys?
Yeah, so my hometown club, obviously Pencoed RFC, started with them when I was roughly around about the age of 4. My dad was obviously a rugby player himself, so I used to go everywhere with him, run the tee on for the kickers. And 4 years of age, was playing up. What was it then? It was like the under-7s where we first started. So as he started there, went through the minis and juniors with them. Obviously met some great people along the way and friends for life. And then obviously I dropped out the rugby then at the age of 14, 15. I decided to play football. So I decided to play football. How football is so hard to kind of go, to the next step, etc. So then I went back into rugby. So I was playing for Pencoed RFC then, playing for the school, and then obviously because I was in the catchment area, the RCT area, so then my district was Pontypridd schools. So played there for a year. Was captain, and funny enough, was number 10 there, so it was fly half. And then after that, because I was playing for Pencoed, it was in the catchment area of Cardiff and the Ospreys. So I kind of had to choose, and I went down the wrong route of going down to the Ospreys. I know, but from there then, it's kind of that's kind of how I grew up playing rugby, really.
Because you mentioned going into the Ospreys pathway, you were in the 2017 Regional A Grade Championship team, weren't you? With people like Dewi Lake and Harry Morgan and stuff like that. What was it like getting into the setup with people that you've seen go on like that as well?
Yeah, to be fair, looking back on it, it was that type of era where we thought you could see that some players were going to go on and do well. Certain positions, obviously, like I've made friends for life with them now, and obviously the closer, well, looking back on it, we had a very good team, and obviously we won it back then. But yeah, some strong players that have gone on now and achieved some great things.
Moved on to the Wales under-20 setup then, guys like Jack Morgan, Teddy Williams, Sam Costello coming from other regions and outside of Wales. What are your memories of that being in that setup? And specifically, I think a lot of people remember that win over England in Colwyn Bay, the last minute winner. What was your memories of that game as well?
Yeah, so yeah, a bit of a surreal kind of with the under-20s. I was fortunate to play with my closest mates as well, Sam Costello and Tommy Reffel, as they're from Pencoed as well. So grew up with them. A fun fact as well, I've never lost against England, so yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, it's great. Obviously, you make great memories in the under-20s. As you mentioned there, like beating England at home as well, last minute winner. It was awesome feeling. And then obviously, yeah, World Cups as well. South of France I managed to do, which was a good experience. Obviously a nice place as well, South of France. But gained a lot of knowledge, and obviously playing against other people which are, you know, in the same category overseas as well. You know, like the All Blacks, Wallabies, Fiji, Argentina. So yeah, it was great memories, to be fair.
Because I guess at that time you were stepping into you would have been training with the Osprey senior guys at the same time. What was that like, training and working alongside some of those players? Because I guess you would have had Alan Wynne and a few others that were in and around the squad at the same time. What was it like training with those guys?
Yeah. And those are the ones who is a prime example of the senior boys helping out the younger ones, where it carries on with you then. So obviously when you come into places like Cardiff RFC, helping the younger boys, but like training with them, it was one of those, you know, mouth just jaw dropping kind of thing. Like you're actually training with them, where you see them on TV, like Alan Wynne, Justin Tipperick, George North, Dan Bigger as well. Sam Davis, who's now doing well in France as well. So yeah, he learned a lot of things from kind of those areas, but then being in that moment, you're like kind of pinch me moment. So yeah, it's learned a lot from kind of the Ospreys days.
Whilst with the Ospreys, then you spent a lot of time at Bridgend as well in the Welsh Premiership, as it was then, won a lot of individual awards. How was that for your development?
Yeah, great, to be fair. It was going in and out of senior training with the Ospreys. It was you picked up a lot of things where you thought, you know, you could go into that environment, obviously take those learnings into that and perform on a stage where it is still a good level playing for Bridgend, and they're tight knit as well down there. So yeah, I enjoyed my time at Bridgend. It was one of those of going in with a kind of fresh head, clear head. Obviously they have styles of playing, so it's quite hard to understand how they play, and then you're completely used to something else. But yeah, I enjoyed my time at Bridgend. Obviously they've got great supporters as well. And yeah, that 1 year was pretty surreal as well, but I enjoyed my rugby that year.
I am one of those supporters. I've got a season ticket with Bridgend as well as Cardiff because of family. So I often get I enjoy the Bridgend Cardiff derbies. They are a fractious time in my house. So yeah, it's because you were there during just after COVID, but then I think you left I think it was like 2021, 22, was it? Just around then?
Yeah, so the 22 season, I joined with Cardiff then. So it was just after COVID. We had a good spell of games there. Yeah, well, they keep on to me all the time, but I'll leave that one up there.
How have you found life with the RFC?
Yeah, great. Honestly, it was at first I didn't know how to take a semi-pro. You know, you've been in the environment of training every day, the professional life, etc. Coming to semi-pro, I've always had my head on of being a professional player still. I've always been like in the mindset of training, like the intensity you did down with the Ospreys. Obviously understanding your roles as well, even in the gym then. So I kind of stuck to that same routine that I've always done. Obviously, having a little bit more freedom with the RFC. There was times where you wouldn't be off on a bank holiday. You can be off on a bank holiday. You can enjoy it with friends, family, and obviously because it's a good group here. Even after the games on Saturday, we have a curfew, so not allowed to leave the clubhouse before 6 p.m. And yeah, that's a good way to find some boys and get some beer money off them.
When you leave the Ospreys in summer of 2022, what is it about Cardiff that makes that the right next step for you? And were there sort of other options for you then as well?
No, to be fair, it was a year before that. It was Doncaster Knights, but it kind of didn't appeal to me. And then obviously the year after that offer, which was the end of 22. I know I work with Griff. Griff Rees has used the backs coach for the Ospreys. So obviously I spoke to him. Obviously mentioned about the culture, which did phase me. And obviously the style of playing as well, which was kind of open. But yeah, it was nice to kind of be in that. I was chats with Griff, and yeah, it did entertain me and obviously pulled me in a little bit closer to signing, and which I did in the end. So I haven't looked back since.
Dan mentioned earlier about your try scoring records, especially since you joined the Rags. Has anyone come sniffing around from a pro perspective, and is that still an ambition for you
Yeah,
to make that step up?
yeah, no. So I haven't been approached by anyone. I've literally kept my head down. I've been in the environment and I'm thinking I don't really want to leave, to be honest. And but yeah, it's ever since I've come out of the professional sense of things, it has been a kind of an eye opener. But like I wouldn't. It's been a different kind of lifestyle to me. That it's been nice to be able to live a life a little bit as well. But obviously, like if a professional kind of offer did come up, I wouldn't. I'd have a real good think about it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's I'd be fortunate enough for if something did come up. So.
You mentioned obviously about the difference in lifestyle as a professional and semi-professional player. Just give us an idea of what like a regular week looks like as a semi-professional player for you, like how many times you in and what sort of training are you doing?
Yeah, so I've got a good routine at the minute. So my Sunday's a meal prep for the week. I work Monday to Friday at the moment for a teaching agency. So obviously I work with schools across the Caerphilly and Merthyr area, looking to put supply staff into schools then. So that's Monday to Friday. I like to do my lower body work on Monday lunchtime. So a nice gym session lunch. Tuesday then, just upper body gym, and then RFC training in the evening. Wednesday, complete day off. Like to go for an haircut. That's tomorrow. So that's nice. Thursday then, lower body power. Into rugby on a Thursday. Friday, little upper body and a stretch, and then weekend comes Saturday is game day majority of the time. If not, Thursday nights. But yeah, it's kind of been in that same routine and sticking to it, to be honest.
So are you doing like majority of your S&C stuff in your own time? Is that the way they do it? And then so you can just focus on rugbies on Tuesday and Thursdays then?
Yeah. So we are the S&C head. He's good in regards to the program. So sends them out. Obviously, you got some boys who don't do it during. Some boys do one session. But yeah, I've always been in a routine. If I'll always stick to that program, and it's a good program. So yeah, do that in our own time. So we focus on rugby then on the Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So obviously last year was the first year of the SRC. How different was it to the Premiership from the year before, and obviously previously? Was there a noticeable difference or?
No, not massively. I think it was kind of the same mindset of it being a Premiership, really. Obviously, you had the teams in there, the ones who win in there. You know, you got your Merthyr, you got your Pontypridd, Neath. It didn't really feel much different. Of course, they had, they do stretch the season out a little bit longer, where you have those gaps in between, where you could, potentially be playing or having 1 week off rather than having 3 weeks off. But yeah, it worked well structurally. Like I've had such bad luck over the last 3 years. I think it is. We made the finals, semi-finals. I won anything, but then we're finishing top. So yeah, so that's kind of, yeah. It's not massively different, but yeah, it's a good structure to it. One improvement would be the gaps in between games.
I was going to ask, how do those gaps in between the games impact the like the structure of the week that you mentioned earlier? Do you have to then try and stretch it out, or do it slightly differently?
Yeah, so it's hard when it comes to those gaps because you just want to be in the routine of things. Like for myself personally, I'd rather be playing every single week. You get your consistency, your body gets used to it. When it comes to those weeks off, yeah, it is nice, but then you just drop off, you lose concentration a bit. But no, I still stick to my same routines: the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday gym. Obviously, then running off feet if needs be. But yeah, I try not to go away from having too much downtime.
The other thing last season was the first of was Dan Fisher's stepping up as head coach as well. What's it been like with him going into that main job?
Yeah, in fairness to Fishy, he's really kind of put his mark on how we want to play. Like he's always been a guy to play off the cuff, isn't he? So even played with him myself. Yeah, I like the way that we go in for this season, the way we want to play, and obviously the boys we've got in the group. But Fishy, he's been there, done it, so he kind of knows how to manage the boys as well, and obviously the off-field stuff as well. He's brilliant at.
He was wandering around Summerfest on Saturday. I saw him in the queue for the little canteen looking for food, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, the guy loves the gravy and chips, honestly.
Who doesn't?
I know. Well, to be fair, yeah. I tried hiding that then, didn't I?
You've bagged like 5 tries already in pre-season, so it sounds like that routine that you've got going is working well for you. So another try-filled season ahead of you, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to stay fit this year as well. I know I've had problems with my calf over the pre-season. I think going into the St Albans game, I only trained 3 times over pre-season, and then obviously felt pretty fit against Isha. But yeah, I feeling fit now. Don't know about fast as of yet. See how I feel when I put the boots on out there. But yeah, I'm hoping to have a good season this year, a bit of consistency, and well, we'll try aim for the hundred cap, hopefully next season. So
You mentioned earlier about like how those guys in the Ospreys changing room when you went up there being leaders, and like at 25 you're still obviously a young player yourself, but it's your 4th season at the club now, and guys like yourself and Joe Goodchild, Nathan Hudd, Sean Moore have been around a little while. Do you see yourself as like embracing that leadership role a bit in the RFC squad?
yeah, to be fair, I don't feel like 25. Do you know what I mean? I still feel like I'm 21. But yeah, no, you got younger boys coming through like Lloyd Lucas and all that. It's always good to obviously because you've been there, been in that environment of being led by other leaders. It is nice to obviously pass messages down, help them a little bit, give them confidence as well. So yeah, the boys are leading well. Obviously, we can have a laugh, can have a joke, a bit of banter to the younger boys, and they do give it back as well. So we got to be careful sometimes they don't come in too hard on you. But yeah, no, it's nice to be kind of seen as one of those leaders and able to push people on, really.
Is that something that everyone's sort of aware of in the RFC squad, that yeah, obviously you guys want to win every week and stuff, but that it is also like part of the Cardiff pathway, and these young lads are going to come through and use that as part of their personal development as well? Is that always in the back of the mind a bit?
Yeah, 100%. This I was the same in like the academy in the Ospreys. The older boys like Will Griff, those type of boys who done those leadership kind of roles. And you just got to kind of get the best out of the people, what they're striving to be and what they want to do. So, and without that, I think it all comes first with mentality, doesn't it? So, that's kind of how it is.
They've you mentioned earlier about having finished top of the table and got no trophies to claim for it. I'm sure I read the other day that they've added a trophy for finishing top of the SRC. Did I see that right, Dan? So hopefully there is something, and then we can push on and look for the playoffs, because I know there's a like you boys have performed so well over the last few years. Like it's like they've set out to deliberately work a way of not giving trophies to us.
100%. It's just so. Yeah, it's just how we're lucky, innit? Do you know what I mean? We finished top last season. It wasn't the season before. I think it was the 22-23 season. Lost in the final as well, but finished top. Just thinking like we're exhausting ourselves with the final.
Because you've got RGC on the weekend to open. They'll be raring to go, obviously trying to set down a marker. How are you boys looking for that? Are you all ready, and when do you travel up, and how do you get into it?
Yeah, so it's always a tough one with RGC. We always travel up on the morning of, so I think it's 7 o'clock. Meet at the top of the ramp at the gates. Straight up to RGC. Obviously, I know she sat down for a long period of time. It's one of those where you're kind of itching to get there. You're always like looking at your watch to see what time it is. Are we there yet? But straight back after. To be fair, we have been, increasing the tempo slowly in training. We're getting our bits and bobs done, clarification on roles as well of each position. But obviously that's the boys' homework as well. So I think we're in good. We're in good, the mindset of it for come Saturday now. So yeah, we'll only find out when we get up on that paddock. So.
A couple of quick fire ones as we come towards the end. Who's the best player you've played with?
Played with Justin Tipuric.
Best player you've played against?
Caleb Clark.
But that was a good laugh. He's massive.
I was like, yeah, still there.
Your favourite game? Any that stand out to you?
Favourite game? I think, I hate to say it, when I played, we beat Leinster out in Leinster, just after COVID. I think, so that was a pinch me moment as well.
Yeah, we're big fans of any Leinster losses on this podcast. And well, I mean, there's been a mountain of them since you've been at the RFC, and plenty before that as well. But is there a favourite try that sticks out for you at all?
Favourite try? Might have been Swansea the first season, or Pontypool home. I'm gonna say. I think it's me and Bose on a wing. We were in the edge ruck on one side. We both worked. Bose had the ball off. I think it was the 10 at that point. He got tackled. I didn't bother it in the ruck. I went on his wing then, and they come down there quick, and I just went down the wing, and I was blowing after that, to be fair. So
good stuff. Well, Dewi, thank you very much for coming on and joining us. And you've got training now this evening, and very best of luck for Saturday and for the whole season. We'll be hoping to see plenty more tries.
Yeah, of course. No worries at all. Obviously, thanks for having me on, and take care, all right?
Been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. And that was Dewi Cross coming to us live, I think, from the car park of the Arms Park there.
It looked like the car park, didn't it?
Great to have him on, and yeah, obviously the RFC start this weekend away at RGC, and then their first home game is next Thursday night at home to Carmarthen. I suspect that's on the telly as well. I haven't really checked the telly fixtures, but it's on a Thursday night, so it probably is. Just at this point of the pod, just say if you're enjoying what you're listening to, if you're enjoying the guests and our general inane chat, you can subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Give us a rating, hopefully 5 stars as well. And if you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. As all the podcasts were back into life, the rap guys, the individual Welsh clubs, the SRC guys are back up and running, obviously, with the competition starting this weekend. And then also subscribe to the Global Gameline channel as well, where there's pods from every competition, every country you can think of, pretty much, as well as across the women's game, as well as the Women's World Cup heads into the knockout stages without Wales, unfortunately, who, despite what Belinda Moore says, that was definitely a failure of a World Cup campaign. But they'll go deep into that, I'm sure. Any news? The Cardiff under-18s continue to plough on, 4 from 4 now for them. They beat Scarlets on the weekend at a wind and rain swept Llandudno, although I'm not sure there's such thing as a non-wind and rain swept Llandudno, to be honest.
I got very confused watching the highlights because the number 5 for Cardiff looks like a Paul Tito regen. Big mopper, ginger hair, lifting in the line out. Oh, I like it. It took me back. So.
Yeah, I think it's Sonny McCabe, isn't it? Who's the junior academy guy. But yeah, he's definitely one to keep an eye out for, and you can't miss him when he's on the pitch, certainly.
I'm sure that might be a hindrance at some point. Maybe he'll start wearing a scrum cap.
The only other then thing to mop up on is obviously Cardiff started their pre-season campaign, the first team on Saturday, beating Richmond 71-10 at the Arms Park. I don't actually know how many tries it was in the end. Was it 11, Tom?
It feels like 11 because there were a couple of missed kicks in there as well. I lost count. I've only got so many fingers, so and you can't get your toes out on the terrace, not with all the North Terrace people over with us as well. They get very jealous of my feet.
Yeah, obviously we were there watching. What was your sort of general takeaways, thoughts, anything from the afternoon?
We were really good in the first half, I thought. It's the adage of you can only play what's in front of you, but it was really promising what we were doing off the ball. So when we didn't have the ball, we looked decent. We looked good and well structured. And that's probably the most important thing when you're playing a side that is realistically a lot weaker than you. You get into the right positions and you work well, and defensively we look pretty good. I know we conceded a maul try, but I'm not that worried about that first pre-season game. It's just rustiness and get through that. But Mason Grady looked superb. So did Elijah Evans and Johan Lloyd. Again, Harry Millard is trying to just beat away the "I'm not a try scorer" allegations from and prove me wrong every single step of the way. So
yeah, it was. I mean, I think it's important to say that Richmond weren't necessarily up to much. Like not to like diss them, as they're a side that have come up from the 3rd tier back into the Championship of the English system, and obviously I assume they're semi-pros at that level. So it was always going to be a case that this was sort of like an ease-in pre-season friendly before the go into Leinster next week and the difficulty of that. But you can only play what's in front of you at the end of the day, and Cardiff did that very well. Very nice attacking shapes. Yeah, lots of good individual performances. Good to see plenty of young guys standing out as well. We thought Elijah Evans was good on his wing. Tom Bowen looked really sharp from full back. A couple of the younger props, Rhys Barrett was good in the second half. Ewan Emmanuel grabbed a try on debut. And the other loanee from Bath as well, Ian Davis, coming on in the second half, looked really sharp from the base. Ellis Bevan looked good in the first half as well. So
yeah,
nice try that we want to see from him, wasn't it? That sort of step into that first defender and see if there's a gap to burst through.
Yeah, definitely. It was what he I remember him doing when he first broke onto the scene with the Rags. Like he would make those little sniping runs, and it seemed to drop away from his play when he came into the firsts. And he's still got that big left boot. So.
Yeah, he kicked really nicely as well. So yeah, plenty to enjoy. But I think it's difficult to particularly defensively pick out anything because Richmond didn't put us to the test hugely in that area.
Yeah, that's why. Like I said, shapes wise, we looked all right. I thought. I don't know the coach's name who he stood by us on the stairs and just shouting stuff. That's always an interesting listen about the stuff that he's trying to shout about shapes and bits and pieces and the encouragement. I'll have to try and dig out his name for the next time I'm on.
It's one of the S&C guys, isn't
it? Yeah. It's always enlightening listening to the stuff he's shouting through about the stuff that they've obviously worked on during the week. But defensively, shapes-wise, I thought we looked all right. But yeah, they played in front of us a lot, which allowed us to get into them. So
it'd be certainly more of a test next weekend. Cardiff, as I mentioned, heading over to Leinster Saturday afternoon, 3:00. It's at the Tallaght Stadium. I may have butchered that pronunciation if it's a bit more like Gaelic or whatever, but apologies for that. Leinster have named a starting 15. Obviously, no Lions, very few like Irish internationals and stuff, but still a couple of recognisable names in there with one of the Byrne brothers at 10, Lamas on the right wing, Tector, the young talent, is inside centre, Will Connors and Alex Soroka in the back row as well, who've been in and around the first team a little while. So it'll certainly be a step up test wise this weekend, and I think Cardiff. I don't know whether all the Wales internationals will be back, but I think we expect to certainly see a couple of them come back in, and first team guys who didn't play on the weekend, who didn't tour in the summer, guys like James Botham, Johan Mulder. I expect we'll see somebody like Sheedy from the start as well. So we'll step up as we ramp up towards that game against the Lions on the 27th, as that's coming around quite quickly now. Not the 7th, as that poster in the Jack Matthew, no, in the pack bar said that the club had put out, advertising it as the 7th of September. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to mention, Tone, if there's anything off the top of your head.
I'm just going to repeat the low stake conspiracy that I've got that already the players prefer Johan Lloyd's because they were scoring tries near the posts. And then when Sheedy came on, they were a lot wider, even himself scoring a little bit wider to make the kicks harder. Just a low stake conspiracy. So something to keep an eye on.
Well, we're going to have tinfoil hats up for that as the season
My
progresses.
tinfoil hat is always on, Dan.
Good stuff. Yeah, that's it from us for this week then. Hoping to have another guest on next week to finish our summer of guests off before we get back into regular programming in that week before the Lions game. But until then, Tony, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to Dewi Cross for jumping in earlier as well. And thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week.
That was the Cardiff Central Podcast. Please rate, review and share us on socials if you can, and join us again next week for more of the same. And until then, enjoy your rugby.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.